The 5th edition of GES 2019 Global Exhibition on Services happened here at Palace Grounds, Bangalore. This event from November 26 to 28 attracted many participants from around the world. More than 70 countries participated in this event. The event was organized by the Ministry of Commerce, Government of India and Services Export Promotion Council with collaboration from the Confederation of Indian Industries and the Government of Karnataka. Many eminent guests, both private and government, visited the event and presented their observations and suggestions. SEPC Chairman and its Director General spoke about the objectives of the event and the role of their organization in the services sector.
See, Services Export Promotion Council is different from other export promotion councils which are linked to a particular product. So you have a gem and jewelry export promotion council, leather export promotion council. In services, every service is included. We have the champion sectors also, but anybody who provides a service and earns foreign exchange is eligible to be a part of the Services Export Promotion Council.
So we are equal partners with CII and we are doing it for the Ministry of Commerce, and GES really has been a festival of services, with so many countries participating, and you can see these constant B2B interactions happening and things that are coming out of conversations. Things that are coming out of people meeting after, oh, I had met you 2 years back and now we have done business and we are meeting again. MOUs being signed, business MOUs being signed, and essentially the services sector is something that people don't know about much. So we have here the environmental services, for example. We didn't know that India provides so much of environmental services to the rest of the world. We have construction engineering services, sessions happening everywhere. So I think it's really been a fantastic contribution by SEPC to this sector.
Top officers of Government of Karnataka, the host state, had this to say about GES.
Karnataka is proud and privileged to host the Global Services Summit in Bangalore. It is we have seen huge participation of exhibitors, delegates from all over the country and more than 70 countries in this summit. Karnataka is the right place to host this summit because we are the capital for service exports. We are number one in the country in terms of services exports among all states of India, and the major service sectors have a very strong presence in Bangalore, whether it is IT, biotechnology, science and technology, education, health, medical tourism, etc.
Karnataka is well known for IT services industry. We are Infosys, Wipro and TCS, etc. They have the largest presence here. Beside that, number of multinational companies like Accenture, Capgemini, etc. And also R&D centers like, for example, it may be Bosch or Intel or IBM or Philips or Shell. They are all present here. They are producing services, they are designing chips, they are designing cars, they are designing metro services for various countries, and all of that is being done here. Our hospitals are here. Our hospitals are providing medical services to people. It may be organ transplant, it may be limb transplant, etc. Our medical colleges, engineering colleges are here. They are providing services in terms of students. I think there is a lot of scope to grow it further. Likewise, tourism is again another major sector that we are looking into. A lot of scope of growth there. Judicial services, legal services, accounting services. Now all of these are possible with the advent of technology. Lot of new things are possible which we thought was not possible earlier. How could we, for example, provide medical services to people of USA. It was thought to be impossible earlier, but now there could be doctors sitting here, telemedicine have come here, telediagnostics have come here. So we, our doctors sitting here, our paramedical people sitting here can provide services at a lower cost to those countries, but also providing employment to our own people.
The event was inaugurated in the presence of a number of national and state dignitaries by lighting the lamp. Mr. Piyush Goyal, Honorable Union Minister of Commerce and Industries and Railways, spoke encouragingly about the government's intent to provide maximum support for the growth of services sector.
We also remember that all of us are committed to a strong new India that we are trying to create. And I recall that in 2008, when the terror attack happened in Mumbai, all of us Mumbaikars had resolved to get back to work, to get back to our jobs, to get back to our schools, colleges and offices on the very next day, to show to the world that India can withstand any attack and India will stand as one, united, will stand up to any international effort by any terrorist group or any terrorist country or country which promotes terrorism. We will not succumb under any pressure. And India and Mumbai got back to work on the very next day.
Mr. Jagadish Shettar, Minister for Large and Medium Scales Industries, Government of Karnataka, informed the gathering about the host state's early advancements and achievements in services.
Karnataka has been successful in building its competitiveness over a diverse range of products and services, from producing about 70% of India's coffee to housing about 60% of the biotechnology companies in India, from leading India's IT evolution to being India's top producer of silk and sandalwood. The state has been excelling across sectors. Karnataka has always endeavored to take the country forward and has played a major role in putting India on the global map in various sectors.
Mr. Rajesh Kumar Modi, Honorable Deputy Minister of Industry and Commerce, Zimbabwe, exhorted business leaders to invest in his country.
Given these three great potential, India and Zimbabwe to cooperate in a number of areas including banking and finance, health and education, tourism and information technology. There are considerable opportunities for Indian companies in agro-processing, mining, telecommunication, power and pharmaceuticals.
Justice Pratibha M. Singh, Honorable Judge of the Delhi High Court, suggested that law should be enacted to facilitate ease of doing business in services.
What is needed to do the higher rankings in terms of export of services is we need to organize legal services apart from what is traditionally known to be court litigating advocates. Because there are a large number of legal services which are provided in the country which are completely outside the regulated environment under the existing statutes. The second thing that we need to do is to organize and regulate the IP services which are being provided in the country. We need to promote geographical indications and seek reciprocal approval and recognition for India's 300 geographical indications which are recognized internationally. And then of course is the IP policy reforms which we need to undertake. Intellectual property in fact contributes to most of the knowledge, innovation and the technology that goes into a product. Economies become big because of intellectual property and not because of manufacturing. And China has already learned that. So we need to make sure that we create an ecosystem which supports digital technologies. There ought to be simplified websites. State and central governments should work together. There should be information which is easily accessible and in a simple form.
Mr. Sudhanshu Pandey, Additional Secretary, Department of Commerce, Government of India, also said India's foreign exchange earnings from the services sector can rise considerably.
One good news that came from the data that was released by WTO this year was that India, in its share of services export, has improved its ranking. It used to be ranked 8th, now it is at number 4 position. So services exports have been driving the exports in India, and they actually offset more than 50% of the merchandise deficit that we have on the goods side. And therefore it's extremely important to recognize, both at the federal government level as well as at the state government level, to promote services as they are the champions of tomorrow.
Mr. T.N. Vijay Bhaskar, Chief Secretary, Government of Karnataka, felt proud that the host state is the leader in the services sector in India and the global summit is being held in Bengaluru.
Today, it's a matter of pride that 400 of the Fortune 500 companies have their presence in Karnataka. The presence of a large number of R&D institutions, global innovation centers have led Bengaluru and Karnataka to be adjudged as the most innovative major state in India. In manufacturing also, Karnataka does not lag behind. It produces 50% of the machine tools in India. It accounts for 20% of India's garment production and is the second largest producer of heavy electrical and special purpose machinery. It also contributes 65% of the country's aerospace related exports, while providing 67% of the aircraft and helicopters used by our defense services.
Mr. Vikram Kirloskar, President of CII, also spoke.
The global value chain is a much talked about subject these days. The world is witnessing the growing incidence of the global value chain, where manufacturing has to be supported by efficient services. What is called the servicification of manufacturing. There are sectors where a lot of complementarity exists between services and manufacturing growth. For example, the telecom services and the telecom equipment manufacturing, electronic hardware and software, where a hardware-software combination can accelerate growth of both hardware and software.
The occasion also witnessed the launch of India's first services export strategy for Karnataka, making Bengaluru an absolutely befitting place for hosting the conference. GES 2019 had identified 12 champion service sectors, and all the proceedings revolved around the theme. GES witnessed one of the best displays of services from across the nation and the world over. Government and private entities joined hands to display their offerings. A moot court was organized and it was well participated by young lawyers from across the Southeast Asian countries. The young lawyers mooted on IPR, intellectual property rights, and other current legal services subjects. Justice Pratibha Singh spoke about the importance of law in the service sector.
See, for any country, for the economy to grow, you need a very stable judicial system and a stable court system. For all the global investors to feel confident in any country, the judicial system has to be fair and transparent. They should know that there is no government interference in the judiciary, and that judges act fairly and without being affected by the fact that companies coming from abroad are foreign companies and are not Indian companies. Whenever there is a fair, transparent and a very good judicial system is when companies and investors feel confident about it. As you know, the Constitution of India recognizes judiciary as the third most important wing of the government, and a stable judiciary is necessary for the country to function smoothly and the economy to be vibrant and strong.
Thank you, ma'am. Well, we just saw the inauguration of the Moot Council or the Moot competition for young lawyers. What is the importance of Moot, and if you could tell our viewers what Moot is?
Moot court is nothing but a mock court where a fictional problem is given to lawyers who argue for one side or the other, and judges are judging them as to who is good and who is bad, who is winning and who is not winning. However, the purpose in the moot court is basically to ensure that lawyers and students get to know their competitors in different countries. They get to know very detailed analysis of the case that is given to them, and then they are making themselves very strong in their advocacy skills so that they know how to argue in a real court. That's the whole purpose of a mock court. And what is significant about today's mock court is that it is being conducted between India and 6 other neighboring countries like Bhutan, Myanmar, Cambodia, Nepal, Sri Lanka, and Thailand. I think this is a very good effort made by the government to call advocates and young advocates from these countries to expose them to WTO dispute settlement issues, and I think this is going to be a very big learning experience for these young advocates who have come.
The advisor to the Afghanistan Minister of Health had these words for the summit.
This has been the third or fourth similar events I've attended here in India, and I've found it as an incredible platform to learn more about the service provision capacity of different sectors here in India, and to seek opportunities. How can we link up the demand and supply sides of the chain here in India and in Afghanistan? And the event this year is even a step higher than what I've experienced years before, and I believe that it creates another opportunity for the business people, for the government sectors to tie up and to search and identify those areas where we can work more closely and strategically on a platform, on a base that we can share our strengths and meet our demands.
GES 2019 had some celebrity speakers like Mr. Devi Shetty, Mr. Devdutt Patnaik, others delivering lectures and interacting with delegates in the sessions on medical tourism, e-commerce and business, which won the hearts of the audience. Dr. Devi Shetty said just medical services could bring immense wealth for India.
We believe that smart software will make smarter diagnosis than doctors within the next 5 years. Within the next 7 to 10 years, it will become legally mandatory for the doctor to take the second opinion from the software before starting the treatment. Now, I give this time frame of 5 years and 7 years, 10 years. I know it is going to happen much earlier than that. I give this time frame because I don't want my colleagues to shoot me down. It's going to happen much earlier than that.
A number of B2B meetings were held and service providers got connected to the customers, making strong commitments of working together. Many MOUs were signed and letters of intent were exchanged. Overall, setting the right foot forward towards a cohesive and all-inclusive export of services was witnessed in the 3-day event. GES 2019 also featured a number of plenary discussions on a wide variety of topics like international trade in services, opportunities and challenges, harnessing India's niche tourism, India as a quality provider of professional healthcare services, engineering and construction services, next growth engine for Indian exports. Another highlight of the year 2019 was the sporting competition. A number of people from across the globe came here for esports, and we spoke to a few of them.
My name is Sanjar. I'm from Uzbekistan. I'm a esports player, which play Pro Evolution Soccer 2020. And I'm very proud to represent my country in this very big exhibition like a GES 2019. And it's a very honor for me as inviting our country to this competition.
Well, you saw what unfolded here at the Global Exhibition on Services in the last 3 days. Apart from important panel discussion, interviews with eminent personalities, there were also celebrity speakers who came here and made their point on the services that India is providing to the world. GES 2020 will be bigger and better. The dream of our Prime Minister to make the service sector a 5 trillion industry is going to be reality soon.